What is going on with you, YouTube? This is Regular Dave coming at you with another video. And right now, the video you're looking at on the screen is 100% irrelevant to the subject today. Generally, I talk about what's on the screen 99% of the time. This one time, I am not talking about gameplay. I'm giving straight opinion. Now, normally, I like to reserve my opinion, my sports opinion for my YouTube channel. Why? Not because my sports opinion is invalid. Everybody's opinion's valid. Never let anybody tell you your opinion's invalid unless you're just arguing straight up against fact. But other than that, man, everybody's opinion is valid. The reason why I withhold my sports opinions for the most part is you have so many mediums and ways of listening to people's sports opinion all day on a 24-hour ESPN opinion network, 1% sports news, and the rest is just people's opinion on what's going on, what's going to happen, who's this, who's that. Okay, since you have that all day, you know, there's really no need. It's like overkill, beating a dead horse. Why would somebody come to my channel for sports opinion, some random YouTube dude, to listen to what he thinks about sports? That's how I look at things. That's why I withhold it from you guys. But this issue, I had to get off my chest. I've been thinking about it for the last couple of days, and I was like, this is not right. Now, what I need you guys to do is sound off in the comments, get at me on Twitter, Regular Dave 2975. We can have a debate, curse me out, whatever. Don't thumb the video down because you disagree with me. I knew as soon as I said that. I know one of y'all thumbed that video down as soon as I said that. I know how y'all operate. All right. So what we are talking about today is the BCS National Championship game. Number 1 versus number 2. Number 1, LSU, cannot be disputed, playing the strongest conference in all of college football, the SEC. Number 1, LSU, without doubt. Number 2, boom, that's where we got the controversy. The BCS, they picked Alabama. Do I feel that Alabama should be playing for the national championship? Absolutely not. I 100% disagree with that selection as Alabama being number 2. Now, the reason why I'm giving y'all my opinion today is because I haven't really heard anybody come at it from this side, but this is the immediate thing I thought about when I heard that they were number 2 and why I feel like they should not be number 2. Hear me out. In no sport anywhere can you play for a national championship or a championship of anything without already being a champion of some sort. What? What does that mean exactly? In the NBA, you have to be the champion of the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference. The MLB, you have to be the American League champion or the National League champion. NFL, you have to be the AFC champion or the NFC champion. You can even break it down to college basketball. You have to be the champion of your bracket. What is Alabama the champion of? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, college football is already the most irrational sport known to man. You never get a conclusion on a season. And guess what? You're not going to get a conclusion on this season. Without a playoff, I understand. But if you are going to go by the BCS, you should have some variables, some things that you could just, this thing is so opinion based that if you want to take opinion out of it as much as you can, you should have some things set in stone. One of them is you should be a champion of your conference. And I stand by that. Now, here comes the argument. I've heard it on ESPN all week. They're the 2 best teams in the country. Boom, I'm going to give you that. Straight out the gate, I'm going to agree with you. Even though it's 100% opinion based, I feel like LSU and Alabama are the 2 best teams in the country. But guess what? When determining a champion, the 2 best teams don't always get to play each other. That's the way it works in every sport we talk about. Every sport. Number 1 doesn't always play number 2. That's just the way it breaks down. The 2 best teams are not guaranteed to play each other. When one team is not a champion of any sort of their conference, they don't get to play for the title. So why does college football have to be different? Why do the 2 best teams in the country have to play each other and they got it right? I don't get that reasoning. If you feel that way, then you disagree with the Super Bowl, the World Series, the NBA Finals, March Madness. You disagree with all of that. You disagree with that because I mean, I can give you several instances where the two best teams didn't play each other. I mean, I know some of y'all can't go that far back, but just think back to when the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers were the two best teams in the NFL for a number of years. Guess what? One of them couldn't go to the Super Bowl. The person that lost that conference championship game didn't say, well, we're the second best team. We should be playing in the Super Bowl and bring all that attention to our franchise and go through Super Bowl week. He didn't say, we deserve to be playing in the Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? You see the argument that I'm making? Alabama had its playoff game against LSU and they lost. They play in an awesome conference, and that's the way it shakes down sometimes. Sometimes your conference is so strong it can hurt you. In some cases, it's so strong it can help you. But they had their chance. They lost. They lost against LSU. So they're not a champion of any sort. They shouldn't be playing in that national championship game, in my opinion. I'm just going by all of the team sports that I know. Every team sport that I could think of, it works one way, but when you get to college football, it has to be different. I don't get it. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks went to the playoffs with a record of 7-9. They played in an extremely weak division. But guess what? They were the champions of the NFC West. They got to go to the playoffs. The other teams are like, it's not fair. We're better teams. We had 8, 9, 10 wins. We didn't win our division. We don't get to go. That's how it works in all other sports. There's not one sport that it doesn't work that way in. So why does it have to work that way in college football? And you penalize a team like Oklahoma State who plays in a strong conference, won their conference, and then some team that didn't even win their conference gets to go ahead of them. I would be upset if I was Oklahoma State. And this video is not to say that Oklahoma State could beat LSU or Oklahoma State could beat Alabama. In my personal opinion, they would lose to both teams. But they deserve to be there. They earn the right. They won their conference. They have the right to be there. I know you guys are going to disagree that the two best teams should play each other, but give me a situation where that has to happen. It doesn't. It doesn't. And generally, it doesn't happen. The conference championship game can be the Super Bowl. The two best teams can be in the NFC or the AFC. And if you're not going to have a playoff, you should at least set some standards and some parameters of what can happen so you take as much opinion out of it as possible. And I don't feel like they've done that. I know the ESPN Game Day crew has a lot to do with convincing the voters and everything else that what should happen. But, just to give you an idea of how screwed up it is, Nick Saban voted Oklahoma State number 4. If he would have voted Oklahoma State number 3, Oklahoma State would have been in the championship game. Oklahoma State's not ranked 4 in the nation. Everybody has decided that they're at least 3, but you got the coaches poll that's factored in the BCS. That is a screwed up system. College football is one of the worst systems known to man. That's my opinion, man. I don't feel like they should be there. I feel like Oklahoma State should be there. I know you guys disagree. Sound off in the comments. Holler at me. You know what? If this video is well received, I got a lot of sports opinions that might be a little off the cuff. You know what I mean? A little contrary to what people think. My next video may be about the Heisman. If this is received well, y'all hit me on Twitter, hit me in the comments. Man, I'm gonna let loose, man. I'm gonna let loose on my opinions because the Heisman. Oh, don't get me started on that. If RG3 don't win the Heisman, I'm gonna throw my iPad through my television. All right, maybe not, but I'm gonna make a video for sure. Coming up, so get at me, guys. Just think about this. Just think about this before you click out this video. Why does something that holds true in every other sport have to be different for college football? I'll get at you guys another time. Peace.